Hey guys, great job on your I'm a Shant presentations. I'm really proud of you. That was such a quick turnaround time for that assignment and you guys nailed it. On the first day of class, I did ask you to write down some questions that you had as we're get going this first week in school. And at this time, I'm going to answer those questions for you. And I'm going to start with the stack right here. How did they come up with the coastal mascot? So if I'm not mistaken, I was slightly off on this. It was an English professor got the idea from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. There is a Chanticleer. I have the book in my office. I haven't read the whole thing, but I have spotted where they do talk about the Chanticleer, but it did come from the Canterbury Tales. How much homework, if any, in this class? We will have homework. It won't be overwhelming by any means. Again, we'll have 2 big papers that we'll have this semester. And just like the I'm a Shant presentations, if I give you homework, it shouldn't take up too much time. A lot of it will kind of get us thinking as we're going into that next topic that we're going to be discussing in class. But the critical thinking paper and your capstone and your type focus assessment, that'll probably take up the most time, but all the other assignments will be minimal just to kind of get us ready going into that next class. What made me want to teach here? I have worked in several departments on campus, and I worked in athletics and student accounts and admissions. And when I was working on my MBA, I realized then I wanted to be in the classroom. And if I could move over to the Wall College of Business, I would have that opportunity. So when I had an opportunity to do academic advising, I knew teaching this class was part of the job responsibilities, and I've loved it. I've enjoyed being in the classroom with my students, and I'm looking forward to this semester with y'all, and I hope you guys will help me be a better teacher. So I'm going to be asking y'all for input as we go along through this semester. Why is Edward so complicated? I agree with you. That building is nuts. It's beautifully, architecturally, if I'm using that word correctly, designed, but yes, trying to navigate that building can be complicated. You just have to keep looking at the room numbers. You'll go at the end of one hall, and then when you go to make a right, it's a completely different number. You get turned around. I don't know why, other than it looks nice from the courtyard looking out, but yes, it is complicated, and I am so sorry. I promise you're going to be a pro at it by the end of the year. Where everything is, because I'm lost, and I'm sure you are. Getting a campus tour is probably not nearly enough for you. There is an app on the Coastal's app. It should. We need to probably experiment with this in class, but I believe if you have the app pulled up and it shows where you are, it can physically show you where you need to go. We will talk about this more in class so that we can all learn how to use that app together. Some other questions that I've received is, what classes should I be in that's going to best support my major? Many of you guys are undeclared business majors, so I'm hoping this semester you're going to kind of help navigate what it is that you might want to do so that we can get you out of the undeclared business and into a declared business major. But typically you won't start taking those major classes until probably late sophomore year, early junior year. You still have a lot of business core, and when we get into the academic advising piece, I'll be explaining how to look at your program evaluation. It'll make more sense, but you'll actually start taking your first business class in the spring semester. You'll take CBAG 120, which is Introduction to Global Business, and then in your sophomore year, you'll actually start taking your economics classes, your accounting classes, and statistics. Doesn't that sound like fun? But we'll talk more about this in the next few weeks. Does CCU offer online summer classes? Yes, we absolutely do. And fun fact is, if you are an out-of-state student and you're taking an online class in the summer, you'll be billed at the in-state rate. But summer classes are an excellent way to stay ahead of the game, especially if you have financial aid or scholarships. You have to have 30 credit hours completed at the end of each year. If something happens and you have to drop a class and you're not going to be at that 30 credit hours, a lot of students will take a class in the summer so that they can just stay caught up, so that they're in good academic standing or they're meeting all the requirements for financial aid. But yes, we do have online classes, and if you ever have any questions about what class is good to take in the summer and online, let us know and we can try to help say, hey, this might be pretty intense or this might be more doable, but certainly we can work through any of those questions that you have if you get in that position. One thing I want to know about CCU is how to get around easier. If you just take the shuttles, they are there. They can, especially if you ever have to go on the other side of 501 where campus is, take the shuttles. Parking is a nightmare, and you don't want to have to be driving everywhere you go. But again, we'll pull up that CCU map and try to figure that out together of how you can get from point A to point B. What math classes do I have to take? As an undeclared business major, you probably are not in a math class right now. Management, marketing, and hospitality resort tourism students need Math 138, and accounting, finance, and economics students need Math 130I and Math 132 if you didn't place into Math 132. Again, when we get into the academic advising piece in a few weeks, we will talk all about the math classes and why. How much of a step up is high school to college? I mean, it is. It is a step up, and I mean, work is more intense. I mean, you're going to have a lot more presentations and a lot more papers and classes, especially as business students. You're going to be taking business, finance, good grief. I mean, it's going to be difficult, but I have no doubts you guys are going to be just fine. But I mean, college is designed to, it's going to challenge you and it's going to push you to your limits. But when you graduate, what an accomplishment. So yes, it is. Some classes may be, fairly easier than others. I guess it just depends on what your strengths are. If you're not an English person, you're probably not going to enjoy being an English 101 and 102. But if you're a math person, you might think, wow, this calculus class is a breeze. So I guess it just depends on your natural strengths in the classroom with different subjects. How many days can you miss without affecting a grade? The university catalog states that you can only miss 25% of class. So for this class, you can miss 6 classes. So on the 7th absence, you can fail the class due to absences. So just be careful, pick and choose. I'm going to tell you every class is important. There's going to be a reason why we're doing something specific that day in class. So try to limit your absences as much as possible. But I do realize life happens. You do get sick. Family emergencies do happen. So just communicate with me so that we're on the same page and you don't fall behind. What are my biggest rules in class? I just ask that when you're there, you're there. You're not always on your phones, or have times, I'll have you, pull out your phones, but what we're doing is important. So I do hope whenever you are in class, you are there and not just out in outer space somewhere. Okay. How are there tardies in college? Yes. So, and some professors actually have so many tardies will equal an absence. So just be careful on those tardies. But if you're ever running a few minutes late, I'm not going to get weird about that. I get it. It is an 8 a.m. class, but just try to be there on time. How difficult is the workload? I don't think the workload for this class will be super difficult. We will have projects that will be more time consuming, but it's my hope that we'll start early enough and it'll build so that I'm not giving you an assignment and you've got a week turnaround time to do that. So again, we'll have lots of in-class assignments, or I'll have homework that will build up to what we're doing the next day in class. But it shouldn't be too difficult, especially if you plan in advance and know when these projects are going to be due and you're allowing yourself time. And I will be introducing them early enough in class. Does this class have a final? We do not have a final exam, but we do have that final capstone project. So it'll be pretty big, but in the next few weeks we'll start working towards that. Got some questions about where is everything on campus. We can talk more about that in class. I hope to, okay, I think that answers all the questions that you guys had for me. If you have anything else you need to know, let me know. Y'all have a great day.